this is what we do. We do bath scenes and boobies and accidental butt grabs and accidental boob grabs.
Yeah, it's the 10 Commandments of rom-com.
And if you don't do this, you're wrong.
There will be a moment where it tickles you. Exactly. There will be a moment where
it tickles you.
It touches it touches your heart. It touches your heart, and then the next scene is just like, and now I have a boner.
And like he's like 15, he's like a little boy, and she's like an adult woman. So it's
Star Wars.
Interesting.
It's Anakin Skywalker.
This was a manga from the 80s.
Padme.
Oh my gosh. What's going on? We are back with another episode of Life Is Daijoubu. I really need to do better with these openers. I'm so bad at them. I'm calling out wrong podcast names. I'm not natural, but here we are again with episode 4 of Life Is Daijoubu. I am Cole.
I'm Sky.
Thane.
You're very enthusiastic over everything.
He's like, Thane.
Listen, I work 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day sometimes, I on the work day. But today, my power was out of my work, so
you got a
It's
vibe.
pretty chill.
Yeah, except the building was smoked out because of all the work out of Wendy's, if you don't know, and all the fryer smoke was in there, and
kind of nasty.
Yeah.
Well, is it because the vacuum?
The ventilation.
Ventilation.
Seriously, I think it was partially out, so like their fridges worked and everything, but like the important stuff like the AC and the ventilation did not work. So you can't cook stuff, otherwise you'll die.
Gonna be honest?
Yeah.
I think the fridge is more important than the AC and the ventilation.
That's true. At least
well,
you could
as far as preserving the food.
Okay, I was gonna say because Thane could die.
Yeah, no. Well, here's the thing.
He could walk outside.
I guess
here's
that's
the
true.
thing. If the AC doesn't work, we'll just walk outside. We don't.
That's a good
We don't
point,
keep
yeah.
the store open.
Oh, the store shuts down if the AC is not working.
If the ventilation does not work, that is like a health hazard.
Totally.
That's a no-no.
You need to shut the store down.
Well, I took a drink right then. Sorry. We're glad you're alive, Thane. We're glad you had a nice, easier day at work as well.
Yeah.
So that we can talk about some anime. And we're going to do something that's slightly different right at the beginning of the show. We're going to talk about some anime news over the past 2 weeks before we get into our the stuff we've been watching. The
good stuff.
The seasonal
stuff.
shows. There's also I think Skylar was watching another show that's not seasonal or something. He might say something. I don't know.
The Jerkins.
But we'll get to that in just a second. I don't know if we'll get to that, but we'll get to the shows we've been watching in a second.
He high-fived me.
He liked that.
Yeah, me too.
Every time I see a commercial for Jergens, I always think like, more like Jerkins.
So for the news, a lot of this stuff may have no meaning to you or meaning to us. I basically just picked out some specific things so that we could just, I guess, get the news out in general. A lot of the stuff that we don't really know about is going to be things that are getting anime adaptations that I decided to bring up. And pretty much everything that is announced to get an adaptation, I'll probably bring up during this section. So we're just going to go from the bottom up, because I think the top one's the most exciting news that I have on this list. So the first one is a manga called The Witch and the Beast is getting an anime adaptation. I've never heard of it. It looks like almost like a Beauty and the Beast kind of thing.
I want to look it up. I think I've seen it at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah. It
Is
looks...
the witch cute?
It's called The Witch and the Beast?
It looks very... almost edgy, I guess, if you will. I don't know. I saw like one picture of it, and I don't. It seems kind of interesting. It's gonna be like
Demon Slayer, Goblin Slayer.
Maybe actually, yeah. What the art somewhat reminded me of that Overlord light novel art.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I have seen this. This is like. It looks like a romance almost.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking Beauty and the Beast esque.
Let me
see the picture.
I don't want to. I'll just do this on my own. I could read like a little snippet about what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing I have is I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World. The light novel is getting an anime adaptation.
Another isekai.
That's I don't know. Like most isekai, they kind of just sound pretty generic. This one seems somewhat interesting. Like if he gets to take this skill into another world. I know I'm going to talk about it in a second, but that uncle from another world kind of does that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if it does something like that, that could be interesting, I guess. The next one is Romantic Killer manga is getting an anime adaptation. Now, I've heard a little bit about this one. People seem very excited about this one. Actually, it was announced for an adaptation, and it's starting to air next season in October. It's going to be on Netflix. I know that. And so that one was kind of almost out of the blue, I guess. This one's interesting. The video game Gravity Rush is getting a film adaptation.
Wow. So I've heard that game is phenomenal.
I've played a little bit of it on the Vita, but I couldn't really completely get into it. I'm not sure if it was just
I like it better on the PS4.
That's what I've heard. So I'd have to try it there
Although I never
as well.
beat the PS4 game.
Yeah. I don't actually know if it's going to be animated.
I heard the sequel's better.
Yeah, I have as well. I'm going to assume that the movie is going to be animated just because the game is kind of that art style. I think that's a safe. Did you just chug that whole thing, Sky? Oh, you spilled.
You want to know? You want to know a fun fact about Gravity Rush?
Yeah.
It's from the same guy who made Silent Hill.
Oh, really?
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So Gravity Rush isn't a AAA title, though, is it?
I'd say a AA maybe. Like
Yeah.
So it's not an
it's
indie
not
game.
indie.
It's
It's
not
definitely
an
published
indie.
by
It's
Sony.
It's a big it's a bigger Sony franchise. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say too big, but it's definitely more a niche one. And his new game Slitherhead looks pretty interesting, but we haven't seen much of that. I saw the Game Awards trailer. It's like, that looks interesting. It doesn't really look horror, but okay.
So those are all the adaptations that were announced over the past 2 weeks. Like I said, we're basically just going to be going over the past 2 weeks because the show is bi-weekly. The next two things are the Dragon Ball movie and the One Piece movie recently were released. And people, it seems like they like them. The Dragon Ball movie has made about 30 million US, and the One Piece movie's made about 60 million US. So
I don't know if the One Piece movie got any US screenings.
Oh, you don't? So if it didn't,
Dragon
that's
Ball
pretty dang
Superhero
cool.
definitely, because our friend Saiyan Man went and saw it.
If One Piece didn't, that's insane, because 60 million just for Japan? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, One Piece is way bigger in Japan than anywhere else right now. So,
oh, yeah. Well, for sure. But
I think more people should read One Piece.
I
know it's over 1,000 chapters. Get over it.
I know 30 million is worldwide, though,
Yeah.
for Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
So it'd be surprising if 60 million wasn't, but it could be just Japan. So the next two ones are the ones that I assume that we'd probably be the most interested in. We might talk about this other one, so we'll just say this one first. One Punch Man got renewed for season 3.
I still haven't finished season 1. I'm a bad person.
Oh, really?
I watched the first 6 episodes and loved it.
Well, you should watch the next 6 episodes.
Oh, man.
I'm terrible.
I'm probably not going to watch it if it depends on the studio, because I saw clips from the second season. I was like, that looks bad.
I've watched all of season 1 and 2. 2, honestly, in my opinion, isn't terrible. Yeah, the animation quality definitely dips. It's ironic because that was done by JC staff.
Yeah.
And ironically, JC staff did Combatants Will Be Dispatched. That's what we're talking about after the break.
I think the problem is they're better doing comedy anime, not straight up action.
Well,
even
didn't
though
JC do the one I like, 7 Deadly Sins?
Yeah.
They did season 4.
They did the season everybody hated.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that one.
So, I don't know who's doing season 3. That wasn't announced. It just said it's been renewed for season 3.
That's cool.
Right now in the manga, they just finished a big arc, so they're taking like a month or 2 off or something like that, and then they're going to start back up on
that arc took forever.
It was a very, very, very long arc. I don't know how many
Was that the one
years,
picture? I don't want to spoil it, but there's a picture you showed me.
That's not the very end, but that's like one of the last
that
chapters.
was insane, those last few chapters. And apparently there's like 3 more arcs in the webcomic, that really crappy drawn webcomic.
Yeah, by one.
Yeah.
So the final bit of news that I have for today is Right Stuff Anime was bought by Crunchyroll. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, I heard that.
You heard about that?
I think I got an email of that.
I got an email as well.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting. I'm curious to see what actually changes. I think they don't want things to change, but I'm sure there will
one
be.
thing that changed, and that's the porn games are not being sold anymore.
Even just the ecchi hentai.
Yeah.
Or ecchi
and
manga.
all the hentai games, manga, light novels, everything, they're not being sold anymore.
Can I ask why? Do you guys know
Pour one
why?
out for the horny
I
homies.
think it's just Crunchyroll and Sony. Like
So they're just a
they don't
brand
want,
thing,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
and I mean, I guess that gives more other hentai distributors a better chance to.
Well, question then. This doesn't have to do with the hentai necessarily, but do you think Right Stuff prices are going to go up then? Because like Crunchyroll sells stuff, but aren't their prices pretty?
I bet they don't. I bet they try to keep their prices at the same thing because that's one of the reasons why people shop there. And I imagine people will stop shopping there if their prices aren't there.
That's true.
Because why would they bother at that point?
Well, yeah, if I'm going to be paying Amazon prices, I'll
Might
just
as
get
well
it.
get them from Amazon.
Yeah, get it
Yeah.
shipped in 2 days.
And Amazon goes on sale with manga specifically pretty often, so like.
And even if I buy from Right Stuff, I still get screwed over in the shipping anyway. So, well, the taxes most likely. Shipping's free,
Well,
but then there's the tax.
all
You're gonna get screwed
websites
over
are
by
paying
taxes
taxes
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all the big news that I could find. There's plenty of other things you can look at. I don't know what people are actually super interested in, like news and stuff. If you want specific kinds of news, let us know in the comments and we can include that in here. Like I saw things about the specific voice actors, like one of them got COVID and one of them had a baby or something. I don't know who they were.
Is there like an anime community that we could all join to stay up to date on news
r/anime.
specifically?
I'm just kidding. Go.
Probably r/anime news on Reddit, but I just type in anime news and the first thing that pops up is this website. I think it's literally called Anime News, and it just had a bunch of
Anime
information.
News Network.
Yeah, Anime News Network, and so that's where I got all of this information from. If you know a better site that you want us to go to, let us know as well. We can go there
Crunchyroll.
too.
Crunchyroll has like a news.
Yeah, I think for now I'll probably just stick with Anime News Network and kind of just relay some of the more quote unquote important or eye-catching stuff that I see. Like I said, I think I'm gonna always try to like bring up adaptations of things, even if we've never read the manga or light novel or any of that, just because people might want to know.
Yeah, I think it's exciting.
Well, with that said, let's jump into what we have been watching over the past 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we've done this, I believe. It's crazy how fast
I know
2
it
weeks
goes by
in all
so
honesty.
fast.
But yeah, so over the past 2 weeks, I've been currently catching up with my shows. I missed a couple days. I'm one episode behind on Classroom of the Elite. It's not bad by any means. It's very samey, but it's still fun, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's like a confusing relationship I have with that series. It's not, like I said, it's not bad. It's still fun to watch, but like it doesn't seem like things happen, even though stuff is happening. It's weird.
Is it like a sluggish pace almost?
Yes and no, because like you watch an episode and the episode flies by, but then you look back and go, nothing really happened in that episode. It's weird, but the characters are still fun and like the mind games are still really cool too. Devil's a Part-Timer is still the same. I mean, like I don't absolutely love it like a lot of other people, but I still think it's fun. It's still worth a watch if you're interested in the concept. The characters are getting better, some of them anyway. Other ones not as much, I guess, but I think earlier in the season was better than where it is right now, personally. I basically did drop Call of the Night. I watched 2 episodes and haven't watched it since, which is roughly about as much of the manga as I read. So maybe I need to keep watching and see if it actually does pick up like everybody says. I don't know.
I might actually watch that one just solely because of
You ought to, just to see if it's any better. Someone else's opinion.
What this reminds me of is when I watched the one that you spent forever. You didn't watch it. It's really good. Great ending.
Oh, Code Geass?
Code Geass, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was really, Code Geass slaps.
Code Geass is amazing.
It's funny because that anime is really popular, and that's the one High Dive promotes. Said, "Hey, we got Call of the Night. It's the only place."
Yeah. Call of the Night is on High Dive.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think High Dive really has this season.
Wait, are you
that's
watching it
popular.
on High Dive?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's on Crunchyroll too? Or you had a hat?
I thought it'd be fun to try it being Luffy. Let's just say that, okay?
Oh. You're a straw hat now.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Barbosa.
Thanks. So like I said, I've only seen those 2 episodes. I haven't watched it since. I haven't watched any more of the Ruby anime since last time we did a podcast episode, which is funny because I talked about that a bunch last time. I haven't seen it since. I'm sure it's still okay, but I might just binge it when it's fun.
You might have talked about this, but I want to ask you: have you read the manga that's on the Shonen Jump? The Ruby?
No, not at all.
I read the first 10 pages, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this.
Is it just a retelling? Yeah.
Just a retelling.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I read it. I read that retelling too. It was.
But there's only 19 chapters.
Yeah.
Where does it end?
It pretty much ends
probably Beacon, I would imagine. Like the end of Beacon, season 3.
Probably something like that.
No, it ends I think halfway through season 2.
Oh geez, so it canceled then?
Did it
I
get canceled?
Think it got dropped.
But why is it still on there?
Because there's plenty of things that got canceled that are still on there.
Yeah, it's a catalog.
Backlog.
Oh.
Why would you think they just erase it?
I don't know. I just figured
The
it's canceled.
the only
Let's take it
manga.
off.
Tags it for real.
The only manga.
Get the F out of here.
Yeah.
No,
Banished.
Yeah, the only manga they scrubbed from the archives is Act Age because the creator is a creep.
Yikes.
But hopefully the artist who is innocent actually.
Oh yeah, actually
Yeah.
that's fairly recent when
Yeah.
that happened.
That was last year.
Within the past year anyway. So I'm still watching
no, that's 2 years ago. Oh crap.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was even more. That's crazy. I thought it was just last year.
No, it was 2020, I think.
Anyway, like I had said earlier, I'm still watching the My Uncle from Another World. I think that's hilarious still. It's still pretty good. The characters are pretty fun. They have this really good dynamic of the kid, the main character, he sees his uncle do stuff in this fantasy world and be like, wow, he didn't realize this tsundere girl is completely going for him, and he just kind of brushes her off all the time because he didn't realize what a tsundere was. But then in real life, he's got this girl that's totally into him, but he doesn't realize it. And the uncle's like, what the heck? Why doesn't he realize this girl's... So it's very, very comedic in that aspect, and I quite like that. It's a good show. I recommend it if you just want something lighthearted and fun. I'm still... Engage Kiss is still going. I still really do like that, and I think it's still got some fun plot. The last couple episodes haven't had progressed a lot of the plot, but there's been some really good moments in those same episodes still. But I broke down and watched Licorice Recoil, and yeah, that one is better.
It's so good.
It's really freaking good. The animation is really good. It really does outshine Engage Kiss in a lot of ways. Engage Kiss's story gets going a lot faster, in my opinion, than Licorice Recoil, because Licorice Recoil kind of, I don't know, Licorice? I know you've been doing it for the past 3 episodes, but...
Licorice.
I just say
Licorice.
I say licorice. Licorice.
Lacrosse.
But, it's really hard to compare, but you want to compare them because they're relatively a similar genre, and they're both by A1 Pictures. But, man... There's something special about that Licorice Recoil one. That's a good one. If you're not watching that one, I highly recommend watching that one.
Yeah, and we're getting character development for the other one now. It's so much
Dude, the
fun.
character development is so good in that show.
I love it.
The characters have so much good chemistry with each other, and they bounce off each other. Oh, it's just so good.
It's like the first 5 or 6 episodes, it mostly develops one, well, not just one, but focuses. Thank you.
Definitely
focuses on one character, and now it's
switching.
Total
sides.
switcherooski, and it's so. Oh man, it's just. I love it. It's fun.
I'm not completely caught up yet with that one. I still have one more episode to watch to completely catch up, but man, that is a good one. I highly recommend that one.
The next episode is way more. The character development's way more prevalent of the other one.
Really?
Yeah, it's night and day.
The one I watched was pretty big for the pink hair girl.
This one's even bigger.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what I've been watching. I can't think of any. I'm probably missing one. I'm watching so much stuff this season, but that's basically it. Because we now share one. What else have you been watching, Sky?
Of course, I'm still watching Rent a Girlfriend, and it's still fun. It makes me I remember when I first started reading it, and Sayman, one of our friends, he was the one that got me to watch the anime anyway. And then he's like, yeah, there's a manga too, you should read it. And it was at a really good point when I started reading it, and Sayman still really liked it. But it's going through and watching the anime again, season 2, it's wow, there are so many fun moments that slap. But literally, the entire story of this manga is just nothing happens. They get put in these precarious situations where, are they going to do something? No, they never do. And the latest chapter, same garbage that I read. I think I read it this
Same
morning.
garbage, different issue.
But I don't know.
You
It's
can't
just
stop reading the garbage.
exactly. I can't stop reading the garbage.
It's some good quality trash.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Red
I don't know if it's
Girlfriend's
quality
fun.
trash, but
I don't-
it's still it's addicting trash.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know because it's just like when I read it, I'm like, maybe something will happen, even though I know nothing's gonna happen. But it's just still that inkling of just maybe. But anyway, those are my only 2 week. Oh, yeah, those are my only 2 weeklies. But the one I talked about last episode was the girl from the girl from the other side, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Man, what a weird show. Like, I watched it, and I'm like, I don't know at all what's going on, but at the same time, I kind of do know what's going on. And I read a lot of the comments on Crunchyroll, and those were, like, literally the same things. People were like, I don't know what I just watched, but I think I liked it.
Is that one airing currently?
There's
Or-
only 3 episodes, so I don't really know what it
I
is.
think it's
'cause-
like an OVA type thing.
yeah,
I
that's
looked it up.
that's
Oh.
exactly what it is. Thane is correct. And like, it's an OVA for what though?
I think it's like one of those original OVA. I think it's like a project or something, like a animation project. Like someone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be inspired and make this short series."
Yeah, it's called The Girl from the Other Side. Really weird. I don't know if I would recommend it. I mean, like, I guess if you want to, but it's the animation style is like super interesting. I don't even know what to compare it to because I don't
I've
think I've
seen
ever
it.
seen.
It's like those like it reminds me of the book The Snowman.
Yeah, it's kind
It's
of
like
like
that,
a
colored pencil sketches.
colored
I don't
pens,
know
and
what
like
that is.
it's always
Really?
the images are always moving. Let me just pull it up real quick, Cole, so you can
Like
at least see what it is.
you know this you don't know the book The Snowman? That's like a classic.
I've never heard of it.
Really? Okay.
I wonder if I saw it, if I would recognize.
Yeah, I think but like you must have seen kids books where it has that colored pencil look where
Or
it's
it's-
like
Yeah,
drawn
it's
like
not colored in. It's
like
just
this.
kind of like line sketches. Okay, yeah.
the line sketch.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like the animation, I really like. But the story, it's just
Off the wall.
well, I don't think it's necessarily off the wall. I think it was supposed to be more basic than I was trying to make it. I was trying to dig deep and kind of to try to understand what was going on, but like there isn't really anything to understand. It's just a girl and a demon vibing. But like the very last, I think it was either the second episode at the end or the ending of the third episode. It's just like, what is going on? Like, it's like they're trying to do world building, but there just needs to be more. There needs to be more time given to creating the story, I guess. But it's just like, I don't know. Is what it is. I don't know if I would recommend it though, but it was a trip to say the
Sounds
least.
very artistic and pretentious.
Yeah, pretty much. That's probably a good way to describe it. But yeah, other than that, I am. Did I tell you guys I finished Made in Abyss? Did I talk about that last week on the show or last?
I don't
last
think
time?
so.
No.
So I finished Made in Abyss the first season. That one's got incredible world building. The characters are okay, but the world building's phenomenal. I recommend that one, although it is a little weird at times because
It's on High Dive.
it's also on Amazon Prime. That's where I
Right.
watched
Well, the
it.
first season, but they put the
Yes.
second season's
Yes,
only on High
yes,
Dive.
they did, and I haven't watched that yet because Thick said there's a movie I need to watch first.
I don't wanna pay for another anime streaming service.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And I think we already talked about it, but we're gonna try to stick exclusively to Crunchyroll. Was that a thing?
Kind of, more or less. Like, not completely exclusively, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the first ones we did was on Netflix. But anyway,
yeah.
the other thing I'm watching too that is really fun, and I love the main themes, is My Dress Up Darling. It's super horny, but my goodness, the theme, like the overarching theme, is be who you are, like what you like, and like screw every other, and like forget what people think. You know what I mean? Which is something that I feel like we've talked about a lot. Is you like what you like, and like you don't need to be ashamed of that, and don't be afraid to be who you are. I mean, we're 3 dudes talking about anime on a podcast.
Good point.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just love that theme of just be yourself.
That's what I was thinking of when I said other shows that aren't seasonal that you're watching. I couldn't remember what it was. I just knew you were watching something. Yeah, I walked into his room the other day to like talk to him about something, but he was watching it, and I had already seen the show, and I kind of just sat there and was just entertained by the trash, just like he was, and there's something about those trash shows that just keep you watching, man.
Yeah, and I guess
they got good things, and that's probably why.
Yeah.
It's because they got those good moments, those good morals, almost those good ideas. Happy.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
like there will be a moment where it like tickles you. Exactly, there will be a moment where
it tickles you.
It touches it touches your heart.
Touches your heart.
It touches your heart, and then the next scene is just like, and now I have a boner.
It touches your heart, then tickles your ball sack.
Pretty much,
literally,
yeah.
dude. Like the scene I walked in on, like they were just talking, and then it literally cuts to the girl in her panties, just freaking right on her butt, and I'm just like, what kind of a show is this? It just had such a good, wholesome moment, and now I'm looking at a butt.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining, but why?
Yeah, it's well. The thing is like you don't want to have a heartfelt moment and then immediately be horny after that. You kind of want to let the moment sit in, and sometimes it does, and then sometimes the show's like, I'm gonna kiss your heart and grab your balls, and you're just like, I guess I'm in for it. I mean, I'm into it, I guess. But it's fun. Like if you just want to feel good anime and also be a little bit horny, watch that one.
Yeah. I remembered the other one that that I'm currently watching. It's the My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex. That's just a
domestic girlfriend
name.
too.
Domestic Girlfriend Love is War. That's what I'm gonna call it. Basically, it's easier to say. It went on a twist. It did not do what I was expecting. It's still relatively horny, but also very wholesome and cute at the same time. I still don't really like where it's going now. I wish it would have done something different, just because I predicted something and was completely far off the mark. But it's still just that trash that I keep watching. But yeah. Did you have anything else, Kai?
I just wanted to talk about a few manga that I'm reading that I'm
go
super interested in.
Can you not spoil Blue Box? I haven't read the latest chapter yet.
No, I won't spoil that.
Okay.
So the one I'm reading that I actually own all volumes except for number 3, which is really stupid for some reason. That one's not getting reprinted, or people are missing that one. But it's called Takane and Hana. Man, that manga is very fun. Like it starts out weird, and it still has this overarching weird stigma. Is that correct? Feel vibe. It's just weird because the main protagonist, the boy is 26 and the girl is 16, and essentially through a series of events, they were going to a marriage, an arranged marriage meeting, and the 16-year-old girl stepped in for her sister who had a date that day and didn't want to show up. So the arranged meeting was between the 26-year-old boy and the older sister. But older sister didn't go because she was going to go hang out with her boyfriend. So younger sister stepped in. And anyway, they become friends, and he keeps pursuing her and then finds out, hey, this wasn't the older sister, but that is not.
But he's into it.
So, I don't know. It's like it's trying to be wholesome, and it is pretty much wholesome the entire time, but I still can't get that out of my mind of like, this is really effing weird that she's 16, he's 26. But anyway, I mean, the story, that aside, is really fun, and a lot of the situations that get put in, the character development's good. It's just, it's a feel good. It feel good right in the heart, and I'm almost done. I think I'm on volume 11, and there's 18, so I'll probably finish it within the next week or two.
I guess really quick before we go over to Thane, I also wanted to bring up the manga that I'm reading because it's in that same category of filth and trash, but horny and wholesome.
You'll never find a more hive of scum and villainy.
It's a classic. What's like probably one of the originals that set most of these tropes up. It's called Love Hina. I'm sure Thane, you probably heard of Love Hina before.
I've heard of it.
Have you read it, Thane?
The gist of it is
I've never read it. I've heard so much negative stuff about it, but
yeah.
I guess there's a lot of people there's also a fan base for it too.
It's got good and bad.
Yeah.
The gist of it is the main character essentially becomes the manager of a girls' dorm. And the girls' dorm happens to be a hot spring. And so literally every chapter there's a hot spring scene, and many naked boobs are seen by main character. Like literally every episode he does something
It's like full on
perverted
nipples, or did they like censor with
it's always like the
okay.
censor, their hair
Okay.
drapes down
Yeah.
and one of those kind of things. And it literally, because it's such a classic like older manga, it really does feel like it set the path for all of the trash and the filth rom-coms of the world. Just basically starting the tropes. It really led the way for the rest of the rom-coms.
It waved the flag of horny.
It basically said, this is what we do. We do bath scenes and boobies and accidental butt grabs and accidental boob grabs.
Yeah, it's the 10 Commandments of rom-com.
And if you don't do this, you're wrong.
Thou shalt see boobs every episode.
Literally, and like the main girl's a tsundere too. That's
Yeah.
like right when tsunderes were starting
Thou
to get
shalt have
popular.
tsunderes. Thou shalt have harem.
There's even like because like in between chapters they have like the little side picture where they draw another, like one of the main characters as somebody else. One of them they freaking draw as Asuka. I'm just like, they're not even, they know, they freaking know. She's a redhead and a tsundere. Like we gotta put her in Asuka's freaking Ava suit. And like, I'm almost done with it. I'm pretty dang close. I'm gonna finish it. I've enjoyed it. There's a lot of times I just skip what's happening. If it's like not the main characters, I just scroll until we get to more relevant plot. That's what I've been going for. Sky, you didn't have anything else?
No, that's all.
What do you got for us, Thane? How is
I
your
think-
weird show?
I think you might like the same author's next manga.
Oh, really?
It's Negima.
Oh, I never heard of it.
Yeah, it's apparently like a magic one. It's more shonen-esque, like it's got shonen battles and stuff.
Interesting.
I did read some of the sequel. It's very over the top, very crazy.
Boobs
but,
too.
Oh, a lot of boobs,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of gore, surprisingly,
Oh, really?
because there's follows immortals, so they get just chopped up, and you see them get chopped up, and especially the main character, he gets chopped up quite a bit, but he just comes back. He always pops his limbs back in. What I was watching, just Biscuit Hammer, biscuits.
You said you were telling me a little bit about it earlier.
Lucifer and the Biscuit. Yeah. Sorry for spoilers if you're on Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, but
do like a
spoiler warning.
jump ahead 30 seconds if you don't
Jump
want
ahead
spoilers.
30 seconds. I'll be quick. One of the main main character. Yeah, he was a main character. He dies. Straight up dies, and I did not expect it from a show like this. It's like, wow, you killed off one of the best characters, and now I'm sad.
Oh, he was one of the better characters?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
jeez.
it's like he was so fun, and you just kill him.
Was his life hindering other characters' development?
No, they were bettering.
Oh,
He was,
so this wasn't Gurren
at first he flipped.
spoiled it.
Jesus.
It's
First
okay. You got 5 seconds. Go, Thane.
he flips a girl's skirts like, what a douche, but then he's like, oh, he's pretty cool, and then he dies. There you go. There's the spoilers are over.
End of spoilers. I think that was a little over 30 seconds, so hopefully they didn't come in right at the end if they actually cared. That's super interesting,
the
though.
the
but
story's cool, but the animation is just garbage.
Just
I'd say
garbage.
if you're
Sorry.
gonna, I've been reading the manga. Say if you're gonna enjoy this, probably read the manga. It's probably better. The animation's just not good. Like, it's kind of a shame. People really like this manga, and I like the joke. I'm gonna rehash a joke from Gigik, but it says sometimes my favorite doujins are animated by Queen Bee too. If you don't know, that's a
the hentai studio.
I don't know. Thanks for telling me.
what it is just literally they draw over the manga cells and just make them move with like 2D live 2D. It's very bad.
I swear, dude, every single week is just Sky's hentai lesson of the week.
I'm learning. And hopefully I don't pass this knowledge on to anyone.
Especially your kids.
Doesn't seem like it'll help their life out at all. But I know.
Did you have anything else? Anything you're reading,
I s-
maybe? That you started or
well,
something?
actually, an anime. Still an anime.
Oh,
I
anime.
started. Have you ever watched it? Have you started an anime because of an opening?
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
I
yeah.
did that with 2 anime.
I did that with
today.
86.
Yeah.
Oh, today?
Not today.
Oh.
Like today, I started one, but I started one a few days ago. I started Ranking of Kings.
Okay.
Like the first opening's just this funky 70s opening, like this like a funk.
Yeah.
But then the second opening, it's like this very emotional soft rock song. It's like, damn, that's emotional.
That's one of those shows I'd love to watch because I've heard so much good about it. I just
Yeah.
haven't gotten around to getting it started.
And then and Ranking of Kings, I like it so far. I've watched 3 episodes. It's kind of like that. It's not really for kids, but it has a very deceptive art style where it's like it looks like it's for kids, but it's like one of those you've seen those anime where it's like Made in Abyss.
Yeah, that's a good example.
But I guess it's okay if your kids watch it because it's not like that. It's not like Made in Abyss where it's just like ramps up with dark, edgy stuff. I'd say it's more PG-13 territory.
Gotcha. And what was the other one you started today?
It's a little more darker. It's called Bastard. Dark heavy metal fantasy.
Is that on Netflix?
Heavy metal dark fantasy. Yeah.
Netflix. Okay.
Yeah. And the band that did the opening is a band called Cold Rain, and what's interesting about them is that they're a Japanese-based band, of course, but all their songs are in English because the singer is like half American, half Japanese, and it's the openings. It hits very hard. It rocks pretty hard. I've
heard it before, I believe, and
yeah,
it's pretty good. It's one of those ones that people tend to point to when they talk about some of the best openings.
Yeah. The anime, it seems pretty heavy metal, but there's like a stupid subplot of like there's this little kid, and like in order to awaken like the wizard known as Dark Schneider within him, that's not a reference to D. Schneider. There are a lot of heavy metal references, but that's probably not a reference to D. Schneider. Snyder. Is it Snyder or Schneider? I think it's Snyder,
It's
right?
D. Snyder.
Yeah. Maybe it is. I don't know.
He's a dick, by the way.
Yeah.
D. Snyder.
Yeah,
Total
I know.
dick.
Most of them are.
Singer for Twisted Sister.
Yeah, most of them are. But he's in a kingdom called like Metallica or something. It's like a clear reference to Metallica.
Is this like freaking JoJo, but even more obvious?
Not really as obvious, but because like in the original manga, their like names are kind of askewed, but they're definitely, and they're all just heavy metal references.
Yeah, JoJo's straight up their names.
Yeah,
That's true.
I guess slightly different. It's not Ario
in the
Speedwag, it's Robert E.O. Speedwag.
and in the dub, they have to change it for copyright reasons.
Yeah.
And then they've got
like
Dio. His name's just Dio.
Yeah, Dio, but he's obviously referenced to
Ronnie
James
James Dio.
Yeah. Holy diver.
That's cool. I'm excited to hear
yeah.
more about what you have to say about that one because I've heard about it before, but
wait,
just never cared
so
enough.
actually I didn't finish what the stupid part is. So
Oh no.
it's a little boy. He's got a dark sorcerer sealed inside of him, and in order to awaken it, he has to get a kiss from Virgin, and that's like his female friend in the kingdom. And like he's like 15, he's like a little boy, and she's like an adult woman. So it's
Star
kinda
Wars.
sus.
Interesting.
It's
kinda
Anakin
sus.
Skywalker.
This was a
in Princess
this was a
Leia.
manga from the 80s.
Padme.
Oh my gosh.
Keep going then.
And when he becomes Dark Schneider, he's like, I'm gonna kill everything. She's like, don't you dare do it. It's like, all right, I won't do it. It's like, oh, this would be so much better if it didn't have this stupid comedic back and forth between these two. Like, I just want blood and gore and heavy metal, which it seemed like it did. Like the setup is like this evil demon destroyed the world. It's like was a regular society, and it like reveals it's a post-apocalyptic society when a dragon came and fought the evil god. It's like this is an awesome setup, but it's kind of got that stupid back and forth between the two main characters, and I don't like it. But hopefully the gore and apparently there's supposed to be some nudity later in it, but the gore and the fan service will keep me entertained. But I'm thinking about watch Ranking of Kings for right now.
I hope you keep going with that one because I am
Yeah.
curious about that one. I'm even more curious about Ranking of Kings, to be honest.
Me too. But apparently about the manga, it was written back in the 80s and it went on several hiatuses, and apparently they haven't had a new chapter since like 2010.
Oh, I thought it was done. Dang.
No, it's apparently it started an arc, but it has not continued. So
Wow.
maybe the creator will be spurred, since this is a new anime from 2022. Maybe the creator will be inspired to start writing again. But
could
who
be.
knows?
Well, guys, with that, we're going to take our quick break, and then when we get back, we're going to keep talking more about anime. Specifically, we're going to be going into Combatants Will Be Dispatched, and we're going to spoil it and talk about it, all that jazz. We'll see you guys in just a second. And we are back from our break. After the nice 3 seconds you guys saw, I don't know, we're like 5 minutes. It's a break.
Our camera needs to cool down.
Our camera gets hot when it records in 4K.
I should have probably peed before the break, but I can hold it.
Be strong, Thane.
Yeah. Think of myself, this bladder's getting full. Uh-oh.
So, over the past 2 weeks, we watched Combatants Will Be Dispatched, originally written as a light novel by Natsumi Akatsuki. Also, the writer of Konosuba, the very popular light novel and anime. Supposedly, I didn't really look too much into this, but supposedly he wrote the first volume of this before Konosuba, but then stopped, wrote Konosuba, and near the end of Konosuba started this up again. I don't know how true that is, but that's just some random website.
That's very
said that to
interesting.
me.
I mean, there's definitely Konosuba vibes, but like, it's the same freaking show.
Yeah. Is this now? I have yet to see Konosuba. It's on my watch list. But
you've never seen Konosuba?
It is funny as
I'm
hell.
surprised.
I've heard it's like one of the top tier comedy animes.
This was funny, but Konosuba's way better.
Oh yeah, Konosuba's way better.
It's probably like evident because like apparently if he stopped this and wrote Konosuba, it's probably got better jokes and material for.
He even there's references to Konosuba in the show.
Yeah.
At one point, like they even say like we got the new
calm down and get
the new light novel of.
Yeah.
They don't say Konosuba. They say some name that's like it sounds like Konosuba.
Well, they say like the blessing on this wonderful earth or something.
Yeah,
and then he says Konosloba or something.
Something
like
that.
that.
Yeah, it's not word for word, but
yeah.
And then like I think it's the very last episode. By the way, we're doing spoilers for the whole show, all the way up to episode 12.
He also says explosion.
He does do that. That's like episode 1, I think.
Yeah.
And the very last episode, Alice calls Six's wiener Chun Chun Maru, which is what Megumin names Kazuma's sword in Konosuba.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like another little callback.
Yeah, that is fun.
I should definitely watch all of it.
Yeah,
before
you
the
totally
season
should.
3 comes
Konosuba
out.
was great. So a quick recap of the show, Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Essentially, there's a group called the Kisaragi Corporation that is trying to take over the world. They are just about done taking over the world, so they decide to take over other worlds as well. They send one of their best combat agents, number 6, to... I don't freaking know the name of the world that they live on. Just some fantasy world. And he infiltrates it and starts to build relations so he can eventually take it over with the Kisaragi Corporation. He's a stupid pervert and hijinks ensue. That's basically that's the plot.
There's a name for the trope where it's like a guy who acts dumb, but he's actually secretly a genius.
He's not even really secretly a genius. He does smart things.
He's lucky,
but
he gets lucky.
Yeah, that's it more so. He's lucky. Honestly, the main characters are fun. I would say I kind of wrote a little bit about them, a tiny little bit, but
Who was your guys' favorite characters?
Six and Alice.
Yeah, same. Six.
Yeah, they're best. I think they're literally written to be the best characters. Like,
yeah, and their chemistry is just freaking on
it's
point.
So freaking. That's literally what I have written down here. They have great chemistry.
Yeah.
It's incredible, and they really key into that in the very last episode where they say that Six is the strong one and Alice is the smart one.
Yeah, the brains.
Very, very good with that. And I'm glad that they kind of emphasized the fact that those two definitely are the best characters. The other characters in the show that are, I guess, the main characters, you have Grimm, you have Rose, and you have Snow. Those are like the other three main girls that are a part of Six's team in the fantasy world. You have the leaders of the Kisaragi Corporation, when honestly nobody remembers them.
They get one episode.
Except for maybe the blue hair girl.
They're in order to try to develop their character, they get like, instead of the regular on the next episode, and they just recap.
That's true.
Yeah, they try to recap it after credits. It's like,
after the credits,
here's the report. Oh, why are they having so much fun? It's like,
so yeah, that's not bad, but most people don't watch after the credits.
Yeah,
I definitely don't.
I like that recap better because it actually does give some plot.
It's a little bit more
Yeah.
fun, and it's more, I don't know, just you get more insight in different characters.
But personally, I just like the one where it's like, next time, the title of this episode.
See, Rent a Girlfriend actually, I'm pretty sure does the similar thing at the end of their after
Yeah.
the credits. They
Mhm.
have, and it is kind of fun because it's Kazuya and Chizuru that do it together. Anyway, carry on.
So, I don't know, like, the way I am, I try to follow the plots of anything that I get into, and this one was no different. I tried to follow the plot, and it just doesn't work very well. The actual plot isn't great, just in general. I mean, obviously, it's this guy, like I said, trying to
Very
take over the
generic
world.
isekai.
It's a very generic isekai. After the halfway, like, it's really good, honestly. The show is really good. The plot's really good. Up until, like, episode 6. After episode 6, the plot takes a nosedive, and it's just not good anymore. It's just very, very mediocre. The jokes are still there, but the plot itself is just basically not good. Like, for the most part, there is so much jumping around that you just don't even know, like, what's happening. The best example I have this is the Tiger Man dude. He shows up on episode 7, no explanation given as to why he's there.
He's just there.
But then an episode or two later, we get a one-off line explaining where he came from. That's like a blink and you'll miss it line. 6 says something along the lines of, "You sent us one combat agent and he sucks," and it shows the tiger
Man.
for half a second. And literally that's the only explanation as to where he even came from.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I was watching it, it was like all of a sudden Tony the Tiger was there, and I was gonna ask you guys like, it feels like I missed something.
Also, they don't ever explain that chip that he got in his katana when he gave to Snow. I thought it was going to lead up to a joke where it's like, it's going to break again, but no, it doesn't. It's somehow magically fixed again. It's like, I saw that. It's like, I thought it was foreshadowing something.
Yeah.
Nope.
I literally think that I think they skipped a lot of stuff in the light novel just to make the anime faster.
Just to fit the pacing of it that they were going for.
I don't think there's going to be a season 2. I really don't think there's just going to get any more.
Probably not,
series.
because there's this, like there's the better version of.
I mean, like, Konosuba barely was announced to have a season 3. Like, that wasn't even looking super likely. So the fact that that barely got another season announcement, like, it's surprising.
Are comedy
that
animes just not that popular?
it's not super popular.
In
Dang.
America, at least.
Konosuba is ridiculously popular, but this one nobody really talks about.
Yeah.
I think it's because, like, Japanese humor and American humor is so vastly different. Like, reading Roboco and Me for all the weekly Shonen Jump titles, like, I don't get it, I don't laugh, but apparently it's very popular, so it's like...
That's probably similar with your Pokemon manga, where it was just like the jokes
The
just
translation
weren't
doesn't work
hitting.
super well. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, also there's a comedy anime about stand-up comedy in Japan. It's like those duo comedy where, like, one's the straight man, one's the joke man. And, like, it might be funny to Japanese people, and I like the technical stuff, but it's like...
Just doesn't translate, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't translate. It's like, I don't get it, but I guess it must be funny for some people, although the Death Note guy does the art, so that's pretty good.
Obata.
Yeah, Obata.
So I think that our favorite part about the show, I probably can speak for all of us, is that it was the jokes. Am I right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I do want to get into talking about that, and I know you guys have specific things you want to talk about with the jokes, but before that, I do want to give out more of my gripes with the show in general, as well as maybe some stuff that it did good here and there. Did you have something?
It's just a joke.
Oh, the
That
jokes.
was one joke I
Okay,
was gonna
keep
say.
that in mind because we'll get to there. So as I said earlier about, like, how they just skip details and stuff, another thing in the last episode I realized is Tillis, the princess, she exclaims that her dad and her brother are both dead. And I'm just like, okay, we knew that her brother was, like, missing, and we knew that her dad had, like, escaped or ran away, but they never explicitly said they died, and she very much so basically says that they're dead in the last episode. It's just like, what even, like, how? When did this happen?
But they still showed the king, not before he died, obviously, but wasn't that the king in the very beginning where she was manipulating him?
Yep.
And then he's just dead.
No, at one point they say it was around the same time when they said that her brother was missing. The chosen one, her brother was missing. That the king had ran away or escaped to some way for, like, to hide or whatever. But the last episode they reference him being dead, and I'm just like, Okay.
So to me,
I didn't catch that.
Well,
yeah,
What?
I caught that. And I was just by the way, this is my second time watching. The first time I watched this was as it was airing originally. I
Also-
happened to watch it week by
Also,
week.
the prince is in the evil castle. They mention it. It's like another guy's like, "Ha, you chosen prince. How like I'll beat you up."
But
It's
Tillis
like,
in the
yeah.
last episode says he's dead.
To me, it
So,
sounds
I
like
don't
if
know.
you
Yeah,
want
it's
all
supposed
of
to be the prince. Apparently,
Well-
that's what they say. It's like I'm the chosen one. It's like so there. That's where he is. So I guess she doesn't know he's dead or something. I guess.
I don't
Well,
know.
like I said, like what I was trying to say is, to me, this sounds like if you want to get the full, complete plot, you probably just need to read the light novel.
Yeah, probably. I think, like I said, I think the plot's probably the worst part of this whole the whole series in general. The characters have their flaws, in my opinion, as well. I'll just read what I have written down. I guess I'm not gonna read it word for word. I'll just kind of mention it. So the first one is Grim. Grim literally does nothing the entire show.
She sucks.
She didn't do a thing at all. Like, she didn't
She's-
help with anything. She never really succeeded in anything she was trying to do. Whenever there was something going on, she's either dead
Or like passed
or
out.
asleep.
Yeah.
To be fair, her little gimmick of coming back alive I thought was unique, but when it just becomes the butt of the joke, and she even references in the end of the last episode that she's just the butt of the joke, and I'm just like, well, I guess they knew. The other thing is, Rose is interesting, and I'm imagining that she probably would get more development as it would go, because of just how interesting her character is, and they didn't really
Mhm.
learn about her history at all,
Mm.
which was weird. And then
I want to know about more about the chimeras,
Yeah.
especially
Yep.
with Russell.
yeah, they reference it. Like, they reference that they're going to go into it more, but then the show
Yeah.
ends. And then the last one is Snow. Snow is... She's basically just the eye candy of the show, if I'm not mistaken. She's got some good moments, and her character basically over the course of the series is slowly becomes a worse person to be more like Six and become a bad person. And
Yeah.
I thought that was fun, but at the same time, it gets kind of like boring. And then they really dialed up to 11 in the last episode to try to make her a really bad, but just, I don't know. It
She's
doesn't work
like-
super well.
She's almost kind of bipolar at times, to me anyway, where she'd be like super serious and kind of like a badass, and then she would be like, I'm a selfish bastard.
Yeah.
But then she'd go back to, I'm loyal to the queen or the
It-
princess.
really didn't stick with one thing very,
Yeah.
very
No.
often.
No, but you're definitely right. I think her overarching development is just becoming terrible, like becoming a bad person.
Yeah,
Ye-
and
she-
they just dropped the ball, I think, with their character.
She's like Aqua, but if she was in a hentai dungeon, she
Yeah, I guess.
See, and I guess
tits hanging
for,
out all the time.
for me anyway, like not necessarily saying this is how it should be, but her character arc probably could have been better. Instead of becoming bad, just becoming less law of the land and more of like spirit of the law, I guess, when
Yeah.
it comes to certain things.
And the last thing I had to say that I disliked about it was literally that one episode that you briefly mentioned, the one where the leaders of the Kisaragi Corporation get the live stream episode. I don't remember what
Yeah.
it's called, something like that.
Yeah,
That episode sucked.
yeah, it was really
That
dumb.
was the
Fan
worst episode.
service.
It was such a trash
Let's
episode.
get the pool episode.
It was, oh man, like literally none of the main characters were there other than Six, and he was just a still image for the majority of the episode.
he was on a Zoom call.
like the small moments they had with the blue hair leader girl.
Mhm.
Like, that's cool. That'd be interesting to see how that relationship
Yeah,
develops.
30 seconds, maybe.
But you get 30 seconds. And, like, he completely disregards all of the stuff that she says, even though he can hear everything. And it's just like, oh, man, what a
And
trash
then
episode.
they end up that the live stream ends up having the heroes come to them. So it's like
I thought
guys
that was
are,
funny. I thought
you
that
guys
was
are
good.
morons.
I thought that was interesting, how
Yeah.
the live stream's what got them caught and made them start fighting. That was clever.
So
that was clever.
you bring up a good point too, though, with like Six hears all of what blue hair girl says,
yeah.
and how she's like totally into him and makes
Yeah.
it blatantly obvious.
And he just disregards
He
it.
disregards it, and so much so that in the last episode, he was talking to Alice, and he's like, "Well, like,
Guess nobody wants me.
yeah, I guess nobody wants me. Like Asaka or whatever her freaking name is, Asuna. She doesn't give enough about me. I guess I'll just stick with you, Alice." And then he goes into how he wants to. You're a robot. I can make you grow tall and have big boobies. We'll just give you the. We'll give you the upgrade, the
Give you
freaking
upgrades,
cyberpunk do-over. But yeah, it was just like, wait, no, Six, you're an idiot. You literally sat and watched her, and everyone else watched a live stream of her just gushing over you.
Well, even in that same episode, when they have that, like, relationship talk almost, He doesn't. He disregards everything that he heard. It's almost
Yeah.
like that wasn't even. It's just dumb.
This is bad writing.
Very, very bad episode.
So for the joke
Mm-hmm.
police, I'm the joke police. No, just kidding. The one joke I had when they're in the desert and Rose was like, "Oh, I could gobble you up," and he's like, "Are you coming on to me?" And it went on for so long. It's like, oh my god, I know the joke. She's gonna physically eat him, like actually rip the flesh off. Stop with. It went on for like
It went
2
on.
minutes.
That was the majority of the episode.
Yeah, you're
that was
definitely
like
right, Thane.
the conflict of the episode was that bad joke.
She's like,
She's
drooling,
like,
I'm gonna
"Oh,
eat
please."
you. I want to eat you up. And he's like, he puts Alice outside and he's like, there, no, I don't.
That was funny.
Yeah,
that was funny.
yeah.
He like
That
picks
was
her up.
funny.
And says, you stay out here.
Yeah.
That part was funny, but then it kept going. It's
Yeah.
like, stop. I get the
Yep.
joke. Like when
Yeah.
you, it's bad that you predict the joke, but then you keep it going. It's like, see, it's funny. It's like, no.
Yeah, the more
No.
you have to explain it, it makes the audience feel stupid.
So I will say my favorite jokes, though, even though I preferred the first half of the series, my favorite jokes come from the latter half of the series. I actually like Tiger Man, even though he's a bit of a lolicon and a weirdo. Whenever he's on screen, it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
to me.
he's
Yeah.
funny.
It's even at the very end when he's got the little boy chimera and he's just like talking about all these like things he wants to do, and he's like, "You're gonna tease me and not let me." I'm just like, "Yikes, Tiger
Yeah, the
Man."
very
No,
awkward
Tiger
Tony.
Man. Tiger Man, no.
I could not stop laughing.
He's gonna get canceled.
with the water nuts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's the most potty humor, 7th grade humor, but it's just delivered so well.
Yeah.
We watched the dub, by the way.
Yeah,
so
we
the
watched the
jokes,
dub.
He straight up just said, "These nuts."
Yeah, yep.
I
You gotta
think,
go grab these nuts.
yeah, I think if you're gonna watch an anime comedy, you should probably watch it in
Because
your native language.
I think typically when they translate it to your native language, they do a better job of trying to translate the jokes over.
Yeah. Unless it's one of those fan subgroups where it's like,
They
this
just
is
do
a
it-
reference to like 1984
Yeah.
comedy special. It's like, why do you do that? Why do you have like Japanese trivia that I gotta pause the screen to read? It's just a wall of text, and I gotta read it.
So my all-time favorite joke of the whole series, though, is when they're with the rich person and he does the top knot joke on the rich person, but it's not a top knot, it's a cock knot.
he teabags
Oh
him.
man, that's the fun. I don't know, just the fact that you can see his whole schlong.
Yeah.
It's just all across the whole head, just blurred out. It just makes me die laughing. I don't. It is so
You
freaking
teabag
funny.
the prince.
It's so effing
His-
funny.
Like he had like a dick reveal. It's huge.
It's massive.
yeah, it was like across the whole dude's forehead.
It's just literally like that. It's just like, whoa. Well, those are my favorite jokes of the show.
Yeah, there was along with a lot of the jokes, there was a lot of references. They did a Lord of the Rings reference. It was early on, like maybe 2 or 3 episodes in. I think it was You Shall Not Pass. They did a Lemmings reference, which is a video game. Another thing that I thought was hilarious is like sometimes people would be fighting with swords and stuff, and then you got little Alice running around with a freaking shotgun.
Yeah, that was good. That's good.
Maybe an Army of Darkness reference. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like how she cared about the shotgun a lot because
Yeah.
she realized that it's super powerful
Yeah.
and broken compared to everything.
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
That's
There's a
good.
Gurren Lagann reference. They reference when they got the mech. They reference the Russell. He said, "You stupid naked apes." It's like, I get the reference.
I didn't even notice that. Are you kidding me?
So
Shoot.
that's exactly what I thought though, was when that big spider thing comes out of the mountain. I was like, Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, it was a lot,
Yeah.
very much
Yeah.
so.
And then the last couple of things. So there was a joke in there, which I already talked about it with these guys, and I guess I'll just say it anyway, just because I think it's funny. Was Six is really pissed at all these kids that are making fun of him. What were they calling him? Nutman or something?
No, Zipper Man.
Zipper Man.
Zipper
Because
Man.
he'd do the joke where
Yeah,
the zipper would
yeah.
slowly go down.
Yeah. So they were calling him Zipper Man. So he wanted to get back at these kids. So he was like, "Man, I should
Kind of
have."
did it to himself.
He's like, I should have left all these nudie mags so their parents could catch him. And then he's like, Alice was talking to him. She's like, "You're gonna give porn to kids?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're right. I should have just pulled down their pants," as if that was better. But then these guys said that later he ended up did give.
No, he did in that moment.
Oh,
he
was
did
that
say
moment?
he did it then. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said I put some nudie mags in those kids' possession so their parents would catch
That's
them.
right.
Right about now, I should be getting some evil points. And then, as Alice is saying, "You gave porn to kids," you hear that you earned evil points in the background. I think the evil points thing was probably like the best like plot convenience thing.
Yeah,
of the
it was
whole
hilarious.
thing. Not only was it like a get out of jail free card for the writer, but also for the team. But it also led its way to a lot of very funny jokes. I thought most of trying to get the evil points. I thought that was most
Yeah,
because
because it was like, here's your reason to be a dick. It just gave every action of being an asshole a reason.
totally.
But then the last thing that I thought was hilarious, and there was a lot of things that the show said where I was just like, man, I've never heard that before. But this one got me. It was, he's talking about Hina, the demon chick, and 6, he references her bra. He says Hina's melon hammock. And I've never heard it called a melon hammock before, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it's definitely like that immature humor, but man,
it's for freaking 7th graders.
if you're into that humor, that's right up your alley. Konosuba's similar to that, but it's a lot more tame, I guess, but more so like witty, I guess, if you will.
More smart brain.
Wait,
Yeah.
I gotta ask. I haven't seen Konosuba yet. Is this show more horny than Konosuba?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
By far.
Konosuba does have a lot
Yeah,
of like,
Konosuba's
weird
got
sexual
moments.
stuff going
I've seen
on.
the gif where Darkness is getting flicked her boobs around by that giant golem.
Oh yeah.
and she's
yeah,
totally
yeah,
into
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, can I just talk about this one joke from Konosuba that kills me? So the two main characters, they're sleeping in a barn at one point, and and then the girl was like talking about him wrestling in his sleep or something, and it was a masturbation reference, and I can't remember. I don't even remember how it resolved. But the main character was like really embarrassed. Do you remember what he said, Cole?
It was some lines like, if you ever hear me wrestling, just go back to sleep or
Yeah,
something like that. I don't
something
know,
like
but
that.
I know what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say really about the show though. It's funny. It's got its funny moments.
Yeah, I think if you're, like Cole was saying, if you're into that kind of stupid humor, you should watch it. Like, you'll have a fun time. It's not a bad show by any means.
You know, the thing about comedy anime, you know, you don't expect amazing animation unless you're like Kyoto Animation and you freaking need shoujo with the deer wrestling scene or the running scene. But this one, I like, since it's a fantasy, like, you could really tell that it's not very well animated comparatively. And there's one frame I remember where Alice, she shoots like the heavy slug shot, and like when she goes in the back of the wall, it just looks like they kind of broke the wall and just kind of drew over it because it looks like she's standing.
Yeah.
And it's like you couldn't have given more effort to like have her like be more cratered into the wall. That looks so jarring. But yeah, it was okay. It is.
I'd give it like a 7, probably.
If you're drunk and you want stupid anime.
The best parts of the whole show, though, without a doubt, is definitely Alice's and Six's like just witty dialogue back and forth at each other. Like it's there goes the camera. I think it's overheated now.
Also, the saddest death was the big crab man.
Yeah, Moki.
Moki. I think he wants to be friends.
Let's take a quick break again, really quick, so that we can have camera back for the very ending of the thing. All right, we're back. Sorry about the camera dying. We're gonna quickly wrap it all up. We were pretty much at the end of the conversation anyway.
Yeah.
Combatants Dispatch probably about a 7-ish. The plot's not great, but the comedy's pretty dang fun if you like that kind of humor.
Check it out on Crunchyroll.
Yeah. Or just watch Konosuba.
Yeah, or just watch Konosuba. If you really do end up liking this story, though, probably just read the light novels to begin with, honestly.
Yeah, you'll get a more full
Probably better
experience.
fleshed
Definitely get a more
Actually,
full experience.
Perusing through the TV tropes page, you figure out their motivation. Apparently, good wasn't working to conquer the world, so they use evil.
Oh,
That
really?
was the last solution. So it's like, I guess evil works,
I
and
didn't
it
even see
worked.
that.
I looked it up on a TV tropes page. Apparently the novel just covers a lot more. The books are always better.
Typically, yeah. If you want more, you just read the light novel for
Apparently,
sure.
also
Go for
in
that.
ReZero, the bunny scene is a lot more graphic in the novel.
Oh, I bet.
Go figure.
So that's it for this week. Next time we'll be doing a show.
Gurren Lagann.
I was gonna pass it to Thane, but I
Oh.
can't. I feel like there's something I'm missing. Yeah, I don't know. That's Combatants will be dispatched. What do we do with
We're-
Thane next time?
we're
I know Skylar
finish-
spoiled it,
We're
but
finishing Gurren Lagann.
that's right.
And
So-
it's appropriate that it's a time skip because
Yeah,
it
it's
feels like
Episode
we've been-
16 to the finish. So start on
Yeah.
16 if you're
16's
watching
the
along.
recap. If you don't care for the recap, you could skip that, but you probably would want it if you haven't seen it
If
in
it's-
a while.
If you hadn't watched it in the time span like we haven't, then
Or maybe
the
you
recap might be
binged-
good.
Or maybe you binged it and you skipped the other two anime because you didn't want to watch them. I know they probably dropped Sky's anime. Sorry, Sky.
Yikes.
It doesn't hurt me.
Yeah. Doesn't hurt us either. He hated that. They're probably like, I'm gonna go finish Gurren Lagann instead. This show sucks.
But yeah, that is it for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know in the comments what you thought of Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Also, let us know what kind of stuff you'd like to see from this podcast in the future. We're still trying to shape it how we want it to be. We have a like you saw from this episode, we have a rough idea of where we want it to go, but that can always change. You never know what we might want to do or what you guys want to see. So let us know. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you in the next one with Gurren Lagann. I never know how to end this show.
What was life's good.
Life's great.
Life is
Life is Daijoubu.
Daijoubu.
Bye, everybody.